Hello dear, it's Heather, and you're watching Save Today with Heather J. I am somebody who has spent her entire adult life living paycheck to paycheck, being one life event away from financial crisis. That's not something I particularly enjoy and want to continue carrying forward in the rest of my adulthood. And so in that vein, I have decided to create a YouTube channel that is my budgeting, mostly for myself, to keep myself accountable with these constant check-ins, making myself very, very aware. I've decided to share that with others who may be interested and see where that goes. Today is going to be a little bit different. I have just finished up my month of May, which is my very first month. May 2023 was my first month budgeting. And because budgeting is not particularly fun for me, it's an incredible challenge. I find it very discouraging to have such a small amount of money. And I want to focus on the positive. I had a few very small wins, and they are teeny tiny, and it's easy to ignore the positive while we focus so hard on the negative. So this video is going to be different in that I'm not going to be writing down anything. It's going to be kind of more of a talking head video, and I say that, and I have yet to put my face on camera. I don't know that in this particular I don't know what genre, niche, I don't feel like a face is necessarily important for the channel, and I do tend to be a bit camera shy, so we'll see if that ever happens. But for today's video, as I close out the month, I do want to focus on the positives that have happened. Positives within my budget, positives within my YouTube channel, and positives with the craft that I have chosen to add at the end of my videos. So if that's something you might potentially be interested in, thanks for joining me. If you'd like to hit subscribe, if you're looking for a little more positivity, please hang out and let's take a look at what May has brought for us. So let's just get right into it. On the budgeting front, a few good things happened. Prior to setting up my budget, probably about 3 weeks to a month, I had begun going through and canceling a lot of my small monthly subscriptions that were nickel and diming me. Some of them I went all the way, as far back as January, as I was trying to eliminate things. So I had I was paying Weight Watchers every month for the last, 3 or 4 years. And I wasn't really benefiting much from that. I have done Weight Watchers in the past and had great benefit from it, but I wasn't working the program. And I was still getting, I was still paying a monthly fee. So I canceled my Weight Watchers, I canceled Netflix, and I canceled Amazon Prime. All of those are things that as things get better and I start to use them more, I may bring those back. But at this point, they were just being a financial drain. So I canceled those. The one that was the hardest thing for me to cancel was a gym membership, again, from out of state. I had myself and one other person on my plan. And when I called to cancel it, I got an email that says, congratulations, you're canceled. You won't have to do anything else in regards to the second person. And then I kept getting billed, and I kept getting billed, and I kept getting billed. And they've got quite a scam, in my opinion, where they forgot to bill the second person on my first month. And until that first month was paid off, that was in arrears as far as they were concerned, I was going to continue being billed. So they've got several $100s out of me just because they made it incredibly inconvenient for me to cancel. And when I say several $100s, it was only $21.99, but I could not get them to cancel that. And obviously I couldn't get back to the state to cancel it in person. So by the time it was all said and done, it was probably about $300 worth of money that they got from me that I did not receive any benefit from. So that was canceled before I started my month of May, but I honestly wasn't sure going into May whether I was really going to receive a bill for that gym membership or not, and I did not. So that's great that that went away. Another area that was a positive difference for me was I finally set up my rent in auto pay. And by not having auto pay, I was not getting my rent paid in time, and I was getting a late fee more frequently than not because it was too inconvenient for me to get my rent to the office. And I use air quotes. I know that's an excuse, and honestly, there is no excuse, but I made lots of excuses as to why I couldn't get it in on time, why I didn't want to have auto pay. I got auto pay set up. I'm not going to be having any more late fees. That does make budgeting a tiny bit, I don't know if more difficult is the right word. I just have to be very, very aware because I'm not relying on, oh, I'll just pay that later. So, for example, the month of May had to start in April 21st and end on May 18th. My month of June starts May 19th and goes all the way through to June 30th, because that's when the first of the month falls in that paycheck and the first of the next month falls in that next paycheck. So anyway, I got that set up. Now I'm not going to be getting my $127.50 in late fees. I just have a $3 servicing fee. So that's great that I'm not going to be having that anymore. Another positive is that by doing my weekly check-ins for my flexible spending, I became aware that I had a $5 charge in one of my accounts for a returned mail fee. And I did end up calling the bank probably about a week and a half after I noticed it. Again, I'm in a different state on the other side of the country, and my awake time that I'm not at work wasn't coinciding with that company's business hours. So it took me a while to get to it. And again, I'm not super proactive with my money management. I do tend to be very reactive and like, whatever. So it takes me longer than some other people. Some people would see that and be on the phone within 20 minutes. That just hasn't been my drive and focus. But what I found out was that $5 fee was because they had sent paper mail to my old address that then got returned. And so they charged me a $5 fee. Truth be told, I don't have any idea how many times I had received that $5 fee. Was that really the first time I'd ever received it? Or had I been receiving that for the last maybe 6 months and not even been aware that that was a thing that was showing up? And just, $5 is easy to not realize when you're not looking at your account every month. So that's great. I was able to find out what that fee was. I didn't get it reversed because obviously that's my fault, but I did get my address changed within my banking account so that in the future, and I also signed up for paperless accounting. So that's just going to come in my emails. And so that $5 fee will not be happening. And I would not have been aware of that had I not been doing this check-in. So that is a fabulous win. Then another thing that is a positive for me because of this channel is I'm becoming more aware and purposeful in some of my spending, most specifically related to my dining out. Again, I have talked about the fact that I do not like to cook. I just don't like it. And so it's very easy for me to just be like, I'll just get some fast food. I'll just order something in. We'll just go out to eat. Which obviously costs triple what it would be to make the same thing at home. So being aware of how much I'm spending, doing my weekly check-ins has really made me more aware and more purposeful in my shopping and getting my fast food. Do I still get it more than I should? Yes, of course I still get it more than I should, but I get it significantly less than I had been, and I stop and think ahead more frequently than I ever did before. And so I feel like that's just going to get better and better and easier and easier. It also helps that for whatever reason, food isn't good anymore. and it's way too expensive for the amount that, or for the quality that you're getting. You're paying sit-down restaurant fees for fast food. Sit-down restaurants that were like diners are now the cost of what had been, you know, your high quality fine dining eating out. So most of the time when I order something, I'm like, this was not worth the amount I spent. So I am eating out less and less. I am going to the grocery store with a more focused, you know, meal plan for what the next week or 2 weeks is going to need. So that's a fabulous win for me. And then the last thing related to budgeting that I feel like is a win is I have addressed the fact that because I'm so used to not having money, oftentimes when bills show up in the mail that are an extra thing that aren't my month-to-month living, they just kind of get tossed to the side and they get ignored and they continue building. During the month of May, I did receive 2 bills for things that weren't part of my monthly getting by that I did create a payment plan for as I became aware of them. I haven't paid them yet, but they are on the list and they are on the roster and they are not being ignored any further. So that's a fabulous win for me. So those are all great things that this 1 month has helped me with. Does that mean I'm all done? I've learned everything. That's it. We're done? No, absolutely not, because none of these behaviors are natural behaviors yet. They're still a very focused, concerted effort. And that's probably going to be the thing for several years out. You're talking a lifetime of behaviors that I'm attempting to change. So I'm going to count those wins and be thankful and grateful to you guys and grateful for the checking in that that has given me. The next area that I want to focus on some of the positives is this actual YouTube channel. When I decided I was going to do this and started, you know, pre-planning and going and buying the light and the clamp and the pens and the book, and knew that I was going to make this a concerted effort and invite you guys along, I told one person that I was serious about this and that I was actually moving forward. And then it still took me another like 3 to 5 weeks to actually, from the first, this is what I'm doing, to actually doing it. I told one coworker and she asked me about it a lot, and she kind of had she was very encouraging, but also like I couldn't tell, like, are you teasing me? Or are you for real? But she's the only person I told, and in all honesty, it was because she kind of had that teasing nature that I felt comfortable talking to her. At no point was she like outright condescending, and and she wasn't like nagging, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? But she was the only person I told. And then once I posted my first video, I immediately let her know. And then I text my daughter out of state with the link and just said I did a thing. And that's the only people who I've told I was doing this. I've not spoken with anybody else at work. That one coworker had mentioned it a couple of times, but she no longer works with me, and so it's not being discussed at work. I'm not bringing it up, and nobody else at work has asked me about it. I haven't told my son, and I do my filming on days when I'm home and he is not. Why is that? Because it's a little bit awkward to say I'm starting a YouTube channel. I'm somebody who's very introverted. I've just addressed the fact that I don't like being on camera, and it's so out of the box. I feel like anybody who has started a YouTube channel had those same struggles beforehand. And I feel like anybody who's considering, if I were to start a YouTube channel, this is what I would do. I feel like that discomfort is a very common feeling. Obviously, a month into it, I'm much more comfortable, but I'm still not like bragging that I'm doing this. That being said, after my very first video posted, I had 5 subscribers before my 3rd video. That was crazy to me. I'm 1 month in, 4 weeks. I've got 11 videos that I've posted. I have 61 subscribers as of this morning, and I am blown away that 61 random strangers would choose to so early join me in this journey. I thank you. Obviously, I am. I'm somebody who feels like nobody wants to be around me. Nobody wants to hang out with me. You know, all that negative self-talk that we have. Not because I think there's anything particularly offensive about me, but I also don't think there's anything particularly, I don't know what's the word, engaging about me. I don't know. I'm an introvert and I'm a wallflower, and I have always felt like nobody really wants to hang out with me. I just happen to be here. But I have 61 subscribers for a brand new channel that's not super high quality. As far as I don't have a lot of, I don't know how to use any of the imaging, the video extras. I don't know how to add typing on my screen. There's so much. This is so raw and unsophisticated. And it's just me. You guys have decided to join me, and that just is amazing, and I'm blown away. And I've never ever expected to have more than 5 in my first probably 6 months, most especially because I haven't told anybody I know. So if there's people I know on here, it's not because I said anything. Anyway, that I just think is a huge positive for me. I just is so much more than I expected. And then I did check my stats this morning before this video. I have 1,283 views for 194.2 watch time hours. That's just something that YouTube keeps track of for their algorithm, for their YouTube partnership that pays out. I'm nowhere near getting a payout. I'm not trying to get a payout from YouTube, but that's a thing that they watch. But again, 1,283 views on my 11 videos is absolutely crazy to me. Again, I thought 5 people. So maybe 5 people times 11 videos would be 55 views. So that's incredible. I thank you. And that's a positive thing. Also, I have received 12 comments from people. And again, this whole negative self-talk thing, I didn't think that I would ever get comments on my videos. And my first comment came very quickly. And now I keep checking to see if there's new comments because I want to make sure I respond, first of all. Secondly, I'm not super familiar with the YouTube app and how to find all of those things. And I'm always scared that there might be a comment sitting in there that I'm not aware of because I don't know where to go find it. And then somebody's going to be upset because they think I'm not responding. And then the other thing is the last couple of videos I posted. So I will post a video and then go watch the video to see how it has come across. Because again, I'm not familiar and I don't trust that it's just going to work. And in fact, one time, instead of loading the video I wanted to load, I had reloaded the previous video. So I had to erase that and start again. And I wouldn't have known that if I hadn't gone and immediately tried to watch what I posted. But the last couple of times when I go to post the video and then come and watch it, sometimes, 15 or 20 minutes has gone by because something else came up. And there are views already. By the time I finish watching my video, there's 7 views. So somebody's getting the notification and clicking right away. That's just incredible to me. That's a huge positive. And so I thank you. I think you can tell by the tone in my voice that I do take that as a huge win. I'm incredibly surprised, and I'm very grateful that you guys have decided to join me here. And so thank you. Because there are people here, there are people watching, there are people checking in, I am more inclined to continue this on the days that it is less than rewarding to go through my accounts and be adding all of this up and be aware of that. So thank you. And then the last positive thing is, again, I have decided to bring my creativity and have some sort of project I'm working on in the background of my videos. And this laundry bag that I've been working on in the month of May is complete. And I'll show you that here in a second, all of the little moving parts for those of you who are interested. But the other thing is, I'm somebody who, part of why I'm using recycled jeans and I have stacks of clothing that I've cut apart or have waiting to be used for projects is because I don't like waste. And this is so wasteful. So much of our clothing ends up in the landfill, ends up in third world countries. It's just, should still be usable and is considered garbage. So to that vein, I don't like to have a lot of excess that I'm throwing away when I put a project together, whether that's quilting or my apparel fashion and stuff like that. So I'm always trying to make sure I do my math and my measurements and my accounting very well, so I don't have excess to toss away, which will help with finances as well. So this is all I have left of this wider strapping that is here, and this is exactly the amount that I want to toss away. I have one handle left that will probably end up being tossed. I don't see where I would ever need a single handle. So this is all that I consider garbage or scrap or leftovers. Because when I went to the Joann's the last time, I was looking for a pre-package of something that didn't work out, and I found this. I didn't have specific measurements. I didn't go with a very good plan, and I ended up buying, I think, 5 yards of this drawstring, and I only needed 2 of it. So I have 3 yards left here, or maybe it's the other way around, that I used 3 and I have 2 yards left here. But I could have done a better job of this. This I will be saving. I have no idea when I'll ever need to use that again, but obviously this is too much. This is 3 yards. So it's too much to just consider garbage and trash and throw away. So I have to find something for that. And again, I had never ever, I didn't know that this smaller one was a possibility. And obviously it matches so well with that I had to have it and make a use of it. But again, because it wasn't in the plan, I didn't have accurate measurements. And this has 4 1/3 yards left. So I definitely have way too much of this, but it will be saved, and somewhere along the line I'll find another use for that. But this is done. This is the flap, the covers. I've got my hardware on. I have my line. I have my lining in and done. The only place that the lining is actually attached is where I sewed this hardware. Because this is a prototype, I was doing this out of my head and not off of a pattern. I wasn't sure where this was going to end up. So I'm a little concerned that overuse, this may end up tearing, and I may have to put a patch on that at a later date. But it's all done and it's all lined, and I got to use my new grommet setter that I asked for my birthday to cut the holes and set my grommets for my drawstring. And then here I have some extra support above and below my drawstring that I put that strapping on there. So this is all done, and I was able to be finished in the month of May and not have to be continued off camera, and it gets to be used. And I start a new project in June. So this is a huge win, number one, because it's complete. Is there things I would do differently if I were to do it again? Yes, there is. Is there a way that at some point I could make this be a pattern available for sale? Not in its current state, but I know some things I would try to do that differently. But for me, it's done, it's usable, and I am so happy to, number one, these aren't in the landfill, because it's completely usable fabric, obviously, because I did. And And yeah, that's it. I'm done. This is a positive thing. So I think I'm going to wrap up today's video. I want to thank you for those of you who have decided to sit through this one, even though it's not actually budget related. But I do think it's very important, both for my own personal, like, I don't want to say mental health, but I need to be able to focus on the positive, because so much of what I'm seeing on the pencil and paper is negative. I mean, of $2,667 to get my furniture here. That's not super exciting. You know, that's discouraging. So I need to focus on the positive. And I hope that in your own life, you search for those small positives, those small wins, so that you can continue moving forward. Anyway, I want to thank all of you who have decided to join me for being here on this ride, and for bringing the encouragement just by your views and your comments and your subscribing. I cannot tell you how that continues to motivate and push me forward, and we will only get better from here. So thank you so much, and have fun. Bye-bye now.